Hey everyone, welcome to the Home Service Monopoly podcast, where we interview top roofing and home service business professionals, business owners who are sharing the inside scoop to their companies, providing tips, insights, and things that will help you take your business to the next level. I'm very excited because today's guest is the owner of Firebrand Roofing, and I'm very excited. We have a lot of golden nuggets for you today. How's it going?
Oh, doing fantastic. I'm excited to be on this podcast and hopefully I can share just a little tip or a trick that somebody else is able to take and help scale their business where otherwise they wouldn't have that knowledge. So hopefully someone's able to take something that I have learned and that I have implemented in my company and do the same for their own.
So before we get into everything, can you do a quick intro, who you are, how'd you end up in roofing, what you've accomplished? Give us the scoop.
Yeah. So I'm 26 years old. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I got into roofing right out of college. I was doing part-time ministry and then doing pretty much full-time roofing, 40 hours a week. Realized I loved roofing way more. Worked for a roofing company for a few years and then decided to start my own just because I felt like I was able to serve and take care of clients better with the way that I was operating.
I love that. Yeah, when we spoke, you talked about the quality aspect of roofing and how that's really ingrained in your system, in your company. And that's like one of the core pillars of what you guys do. Tell me about that. Like, what about quality is so important when having and scaling a home service business?
Yeah, I think like for us as a company, like our main goal is building a relationship with these customers that last longer than a shingle does. So it's creating things like giving them branded products so that they can remember us, but as well as from like the first inspection or the first even phone call, being a friendly and just smiling face, our office is until the last moment that we leave of leaving them with a gift or giving them some type of referral bonus for someone that they refer us to. But we really care about the details. I think it's something that we take a lot of pride in is making sure that things are done right. We're not any of our sales specialists who we call project consultants. We make sure that they go through Owens Corning or any other type of bulletins and actually understand how a roof goes on. So that way, when they are first at that inspection, they're being detailed oriented and making sure that they're quoting things out properly, as well as making sure that the next person that comes on job site, like our site supervisor, knows what needs to be done.
100%. And you went the route, right? Some people go the route of like a sales organization where they're just looking to scale, sales, scale, 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 and they've totally forgot about the quality and production side of it. You've chose the opposite way, right? You chose like, let's be really high quality, really good at what we do, and the sales will flow. Tell me about your mindset, like why positioning your company that route rather than just trying to be a typical roofing sales organization and scale quickly rather than quality.
Yeah, a lot of people will call like some roofing companies a cradle to the grave. So they'll hire somebody and just be like, "Hey, go knock the doors or go do XYZ and just take care of that homeowner until you bring me a paycheck and then I'll give you a paycheck in return." And I was like, that's just not right. One, salespeople should be salespeople, or how we like to call them, project consultants. We want those people to be fully focused on the homeowner in their phase and everyone kind of working together as a team to make sure that homeowner gets the best satisfaction and like a actual guarantee. So we've broken up where we kind of have the office, they'll take care of that first phone call and then kind of go ahead and vet that homeowner. And then it gets pushed over to the project consultant, from there to the project coordinator, and then to the site supervisor. And then we'll bring it back to the project consultants, going back, making sure that what that individual promised as a company and as an individual is actually taken care of. So they'll walk through the whole job site, even though a site supervisor may have already done that. They're going to go through, verify everything, and then also just pick up that last check and give that friendly face right back to them. So from the start to the finish, that person is there.
Yeah, that's really interesting to hear just kind of that communication between the different teams so that everything from A to Z, like from the start to the finish of the project, it is, everything's moving through. And as a result of that, you guys have great reviews. You have 5 stars. How do you maintain such a good reputation? How do you get those 5-star reviews?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it truly comes down to hiring people that is more focused on the culture of the company and not necessarily the dollar that comes with it. So we hire people that are more service focused first. And then, of course, the roofs and the jobs are going to come after that. So the way that we're getting those reviews is just being genuine. I feel like a lot of companies out there are just hire, 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 and they're not actually looking at the individual and saying, hey, is this person going to care more about the homeowner than the dollar that they receive? And we kind of even actually bridge that gap. I know a lot of companies will do 1099s. Ours are actually W-2, company wrap trucks. So that way we're saying, hey, listen, we're going on a limb for you. We're going to pay you a salary, and then we're going to give you performance-based pay. So it kind of takes off a little bit of that, like I have to sell in order to provide for my family or provide for myself, for my bills. It takes off that pressure right off bat. So they're truly focused on the homeowner.
Yeah, I was gonna say because so many people, salespeople come into an organization and they are very, very focused on, sales, selling, selling, selling. That's what they've been taught. So how do you take someone like that? Like, how do you transition someone's mindset to be more focused on like the purpose and the customer and exactly what you said, and not just focus on looking at people as dollar signs, but yet still doing a great job of selling?
That's a great question. It's really down to the individual that we've hired. I'll say we've had like one or two hires that are kind of just focused on, and like in the past, just hired, or they were, even though they seemed like they care about the homeowner, at the end of the day, they really just wanted to sell, sell, sell. And I think the main thing that you can tell in a person is once they sold, are they more excited that the homeowner is going to get a brand new roof and they're going to get the rain to stop coming inside their home? Or are they more focused of like, yo, look, I just sold $20,000, $30,000 job to this homeowner. It's about kind of seeing the person's personality come out into the sales pretty quickly. I've always heard the term hire slowly and then fire quickly. So you'll really find out that individual in the first 2 to 3 months. Some people hang on to someone a little bit longer than they should, especially someone that's in a sales role. They'll keep them on, and be like, oh no, I need them to keep going and doing those inspections, but don't realize the detrimental effect that they'll have to the company and the culture itself. So I hope that kind of answered the question a little bit
No,
there.
it does, and I'm curious, how do you take somebody like, how do you manage a team, making sure that they're focused on that, that customer and that end result? How do you hold them accountable for sales metrics? Like, where does the sales metrics come in? Because obviously they do need to sell something, right, if they're a salesperson. So how do you kinda set up that infrastructure where, as a leader, as a manager of an organization, like, you make sure, okay, they're hitting their sales metrics, but it doesn't that's not the end all be all, like, they're also being good people and helping homeowners.
I think the thing that's worked the best for us is kind of having those checks and balances throughout the system. It's not just one individual that's doing everything. You're having someone else check in, or office admin coming in, looking behind me like, hey, did you follow up with this person or doing X, Y, and Z? Having those checks and balances knows that one, everyone together is working on something. And I don't want to say that person like knows that someone else is going to check in on what they're doing. So therefore they have to make sure it's done right. But at the end of the day, it's making sure things aren't dropped, and they're not also unloading everything. So like, I feel like the cradle to the grave type of salesperson is so overworked that they forget about that homeowner, versus a project consultant is only focused on the sales. So therefore, they're just making sure that homeowner actually needs it and it's done right. And therefore, when you do something good for somebody, something good is going to come from it. And you start, especially when you bring someone on and you start showing them like, hey, this is a method that we follow of just not just selling someone a roof, but being genuine about it. Be like, hey, listen, you've got a few more years. You should go ahead and just wait on it. Obviously, costs will increase over time, but at the same time, just being genuine and saying, hey, you don't need this or you do need this, it's going to come back to you. And I think if you can show that early on to a project consultant or a salesperson, they're going to start watching that wheel turn in their head and knowing that good is going to come back to them. That's the best way I can really say that there.
Yeah, you're the type of company I'd want coming to my home, right? Not trying to, because I'm not up on the roof, right? An average person's not up on the roof. They don't know. So you could really tell them their roof's completely destroyed, even though it's not, or just exaggerate. Like, yes, do they need a new roof technically? Yeah, of course, it's old. It meets the timeline, but really there's no problems. Some people will just try to sell them because of the age, when really, like, I would want you coming to my house to tell me, hey, listen, like, your roof is old. You probably are going to need a new roof, but now's not the time. You're doing fine. Just wait till, you know, a couple years. And that's the type of person I would want to deal with, on, if I were hiring you, for sure.
And another thing that we do in our inspections is we'll actually do a video up on the roof. And I think this is something that a lot of contractors are missing big time because they're jumping on that roof and they're just like, oh, yeah, you don't need a roof or you do need a roof, but they're not actually showing any evidence of why they need it or why they don't. And so when we're up there, we'll just do a full overview video, walking the entire roof, showing the shingles, even showing some of the neighbors saying, hey, look, yours has great granules. Let me zoom in on my camera and show you another roof that may not look as great as yours. Hey, yours is doing better than theirs. Or, hey, you have a 3-tab versus an architectural, or an architectural versus a 3-tab, and kind of just showing them visually what's going on. I think that's a lot of times people forget that our entire generation, our culture is changing so quickly where everyone's going to swiping or videos or whatever else on social media, but they're not thinking, okay, what does someone want to receive when I'm coming to their house? They're going to want something visual. They're not going to want the same old of just verbal, hey, this is what's going on. They want to visually see something. And that's us as a company, is what we're changing. Even if you check our social media, you're going to see a lot of videos around just documentation or what to look for in a roof, or just knowledge and expertise that we share with homeowners when you go check our social media. And it's the same thing that we actually will send to homeowners. Once we're done with the inspection, one will always send a company cam link so they can see the photos and the videos once we leave. So we're not just leaving them with nothing and just telling them something. As well as we'll send videos that I have actually made explaining starter shingle, hip and ridge, and just components of their home, of what that project consultant may have seen, so they can see an example video of it. So having a database.
I think that's great. So you're actually including and incorporating more interactive video where you're not just telling them, you're showing them, right? So when you're preparing a quote because they do need a roof, you're not just saying, oh, well, here's the number, right? Here's what it includes, here's the number. You're saying, look, visually, here's what I found on your roof, so that they can see and understand that. And by doing so, we talked a lot about you're educating homeowners. Like, how does the education part come into effect in building your brand and your sales? How has that impacted what you guys do?
I would say, and a huge shout out here, something that's really helped us a lot, and that's something we didn't recreate the wheel on, is that a few years ago, we bought the PDFs and all that kind of stuff from Business 411, and we give that to homeowners as well. So they have a physical education guide. So when they have something that's written all the way down, and then something that's super easy that anyone can do in a few minutes, is having a video. So giving those two things is how we can educate a homeowner on what's going on in their house. So that Business 411 completely changed everything for us, kind of showing like, yes, we are a culture that is so driven by something visual versus verbal, like we used to have.
So has that Business 401 tools, how has it helped you? Like, do you physically bring it digitally? Do you walk through it? Like, tell me about that process of educating the homeowner, what that looks like in your sales cycle.
Yeah, great question. So in that sales cycle, when we go to a homeowner's house, I highly, highly recommend every single roofing contractor to either have a roof in a bag, which Owens Corning offers, or Certainteed has the roof in a box. Having something visual to show them in person so that they can feel, see, understand what a roof process looks like. And then from there, we furnish have explained things verbally. And then the marketing 411 brochures is something to leave behind that's written. So that is kind of how we play on both those things, is they're going to get something very, very physical. But we realized we could print out all these things. Most people may not be reading them, but by us sending them electronically, we know they're getting them and we know they're reviewing it. And we're telling them, hey, this is a resource that you can use as you're looking across different contractors, that is going to help you, walk you through the process, guide you through the process. So yeah.
Gotcha. So it really plays a vital role. The materials and the education piece, I mean, plays a vital role in your sales process, in you building trust with homeowners, property owners when you're going out. And it's been a key development in your sales and your company, it sounds like.
Yep. Big time. Yeah. I mean, that's one way it helps differentiate us from other contractors, is having those type of things. Because I'm sure that reason why a lot of contractors are failing is they're not offering that kind of stuff. They're literally just knocking on the door and walking away and leaving nothing for the homeowner to remember them by. So we're doing something that's different than everybody else. I wish more people would do it because we need to educate homeowners. Homeowners are lacking so much knowledge. Same thing with the like insurance side, even though we're focusing more on retail now versus away from insurance. But so many homeowners are not being properly educated. And so a big thing is whether someone goes with us or not, we hope that they're able to take something away and able to apply it to their family and take care of them more.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. I couldn't agree more. I think that so many people are still, if they just did the basics, so many home service businesses are so behind the eight ball in terms of they're like still operating so far back. They're not bringing branded materials. They're not prepared. And so that's why a lot of younger contractors are actually beating out older contractors because they're stuck in their ways and they're not adapting to the market, which is more market education, more brand, and making yourself, a reputable company, a reputable organization.
And honestly, it's not even hard nowadays. I mean, there's literally so many different ways to be a marketable company out there, just showing visually. Like we use Job Nimbus and we love their new sales platform. I mean, even Jobber, we've seen estimates from just my friends that are in different industries showing me their estimates. And there's just so many different ways now to be presentable and show a presentation that homeowners like. Because like I said, it's all about visuals. Like our culture is completely about visual. And it's just not hard nowadays. It's just the number one thing people need to do is take action on it. And if they don't take action, they're going to get left behind. It's just how it is.
100%. So we talked about educating the homeowners. We talked about really the unique value proposition of being quality driven first, purpose driven first, like actually caring about the homeowners, which flows through, right? It's all you're a relationship company. You're not just, we talked about like the difference between a sales organization and what you are, which is a relationship organization. And you're focused on actually getting those quality relationships. And I think others in the industry should you know, take that in and really start to do the same while incorporating sales efforts, but having that in there. And that follows through all the way from not only just getting the job and having a great reputation, all the great reviews like you have, which you've been managing to do, but what about after creating raving fans, right? So you've got the deal, you've got the relationship. Now it moves into like, how do you create these raving fans?
Yeah, great question. Something that we have done is when we leave that door, we're leaving the door after we're done with the roof, is leaving them with something that they are remembering us by. So, like, we have stickers that we leave on the doors. I know a lot of garage door companies, like Tommy Mello, they'll leave them right next to where they did the garage door or the clicker and whatnot. But like ours is going to go on the window. So when someone walks up, a lot of people have those like pets, like, hey, there's so many pets in this house, or hey, pay attention to this. Ours just says protected by Firebrand Roofing. And then we have our little tagline on there, our phone number, and our email. We'll also, in order to create that raving fan, is we want to leave them with something that every single time it rains, they know that they're protected by us. Like we have umbrellas that we give all the homeowners when we leave, as well as we have like coffee cups because everyone's either going to drink coffee or they're going to drink tea or drink something. But I believe that creating a raving fan is giving someone a small gift that really reminds them of you and the service that you gave them. Another thing that I actually thought was really cool is that one of my reps today, one of my project consultants, as we were leaving, he was like, hey, did you see that lady's coffee cup that said Black Rifle Company? And I was like, no, I didn't even notice that. I'm so glad you noticed that because we are 100% going to go get her a gift and being thoughtful, going that extra mile. I think nowadays where like gifts, you're getting all these Amazon like boxes and whatever else, but you're not getting a gift from someone that's thoughtful. So us going that extra mile when we're done, we're going to give her all these coffee mugs. We're going to give her the umbrellas, the stickers, koozies, and stuff like that. But then going the extra mile and giving her something else that she can take personally and she's always going to remember us. Therefore, that's why our company's at, and I that's why our company is actually has 80% referrals. So like all the leads that we have are literally basically through referrals. We have some a little bit through like Facebook and Google and Nextdoor, but all of them are typically coming from other homeowners referring us because we're leaving something behind for them to remember us by, but we're also going that extra mile to create a raving fan.
So tell me about that a little bit. You're 80% referral driven, which means you have a great reputation and you've created raving fans. What's like So giving them thoughtful gifts is one of the secrets. What are the other secrets? How do you do it? How do you get someone to refer you business to the point where it's driving 80% of the sales?
Yeah, another thing that we have done uniquely is a lot of contractors will be like, "Hey, we'll give you this large amount of money, 250, 500, even $1,000 if you would refer us for a roof replacement." We were like, "Okay, that's cool and all, and like I would like to get that from someone else, referring someone to someone else for their home or referring another contractor." But at the same time, you're going to get forgotten, or even once you refer that person, well, one, a lot of contractors drop the ball on that. They don't actually give that referral out. But what we do is we do $25 gift card as soon as we get the phone number, the address, and the number of that person. So we just get all the general basic information and we show up to that job site. As we're leaving, we let the office know, hey, we've completed this inspection. Go ahead and send that $25. So it doesn't mean that person has signed up for us yet. They haven't moved forward with any type of project. They haven't moved forward with a roof replacement or gutter replacement or whatever other service we offer. But at least they're going ahead and getting a little touch point, and the office is letting that person know who referred us, hey, we thank you so we're going to call because a lot of times we're getting all those little spam things nowadays, those text messages like, oh, you forgot about your UPS package or FedEx package or whatever else. And you're not really sure if it's actually believable. But getting that phone call saying, hey, you already have our number saved. This is the Firebrand office. We just want to let you know that we're so thankful for the kind gesture of sharing one of your friends, your family, or whoever else that you just referred us to, referring them to us. We are sending you a link to a $25 gift card. We tried actually mailing it out, but then some people just like either didn't check or whatever else. But being able to call them and say, hey, this gift is from us to you because you went the extra mile to share someone with us. And then even after the roof is done, they're going to get 250. We do 250. So they're automatically going to get 250 at the very end as well. So we're getting $275 out. But that first $25 makes people excited because they've already received something in return for that referral. And they've also received a gesture from us saying, hey, we appreciate you. We see that you're doing this and you're benefiting our company and helping us grow further. And without you doing that, because everyone likes to do good to others. So by us verbally acknowledging that, makes people want to refer us to more friends. And so you actually typically see us start doing like neighborhoods. And not because we're going and door knocking or doing whatever else, it's because we're taking care of those who we're servicing right then and there. And then that person wants to go share with their neighbors. We actually we don't even do any door knocking. So I mean, like I know some people like all of our tracking and our numbers and all that kind of stuff through Job Nimbus shows that our referral base is actually 80% and not through canvassing or anything like that, solely due to other people word of mouth sharing.
Wow, I love that process. So who owns that process? Like who oversees it? Is it you're an admin who oversees and calls and sends out the gift cards?
Yep. So luckily yeah, they're the ones that do that. But inside Job Nimbus, as soon as someone calls, we make sure, hey, we want to know, how'd you hear about us? Did someone tell you? Did a friend, a neighbor, who told you? And then inside Job Nimbus, we're able to, in our job details, actually write out name of the referring person. So that way our project consultants know when they're looking at the details of that job and what they're going to look at, they can see, oh, this person was referred by XYZ. So they're going to mention that when we go. It's like, hey, we are going to give you the same service. And like just a little backstory, like we're going to give you the same service that XYZ got. So we're here to serve you and get you taken care of. We appreciate that person referring us, but we have that there. So that means as soon as we leave and we move that into the next stage, the office is going to go ahead and send that gift over to the other person who referred. But having something that's trackable. So we have something that's trackable inside Job Nimbus.
Awesome. So you track it in your CRM. And then do you have like if someone refers one person, you obviously call them right away, you thank them, you give them the 25. Do you have another process where you then call them again and say, hey, just want to see how things are going? Do you have anyone else that is in need of a roof, or do you kind of do like a follow up to it? Because if they referred once, they'll refer more. How do you do that to get multiple referrals from one source?
I think we probably should be calling those people back, and we have it all tracked in our database, so we could. But I think once what we've seen is we haven't had to do that because once we do it the first time, it has always come back to us. That person's going to want to refer because we're already giving them a little snippet. And then when they get that 250 at the end, if it turns into a roof replacement, they're even more glad. They're like, I want to refer you because I see something in this. Because if you're a faithful and little, then you can be faithful in much. So therefore, if that person knows if we're already faithful in the little things, we're gonna be faithful in the big things. So therefore, they want to keep referring.
Awesome, awesome. So, have you tested like giving like your gift cards? Are they just like cash gift cards, like in terms of like Visa? You can use it anywhere. Are they specific places? Have you tested or had different, thoughts about that?
Yeah, we'll typically call when we do that saying, "Hey, thank you so much for sending you a gift card." Typically, we're always doing Amazon, but we ask that person, "Hey, do you want an Amazon gift card or which type of gift card are you going to use?" Because we can use any of them because it's all virtual anyways. So it could be Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A. So I'm biased. I always want everyone to get Chick-fil-A. But yeah, so we always ask that person, "Hey, are you going to use a $25 Amazon gift card?" I forgot to mention that earlier. But yeah.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A goes with your brand colors too. You got the same colors as it's all
We do.
synergy right there. Very cool. So, for somebody who wants to like really implement a good referral process within their company, what would you recommend? How would they like what are the starting steps to getting your team, everyone bought in and understanding a referral process and how it works?
Yeah, I think the first step is one, tracking it and also knowing that our employees, if they refer anyone, they're automatically gonna get 25 bucks. So it's not like going again, like even our sales consult, like our project consultants, when they refer, they're automatically getting a small bit paid back to them. And it's not just completely contributed to their performance based pay. That's additional pay going to them. So they're kind of bought in for it. They're like, okay, well, of course, I want to get an extra pay for doing that referral because it's being a lead being brought in.
So your
But
employees refer and your customers refer. Everyone gets paid for referrals. Like you definitely make sure to address that and compensate and gift people for referring, whether it's an employee or it's a customer.
yep. So then they're bought in, and then we're automatically making that a requirement for the tracking of it all inside Job Nimbus. So therefore, they're going to follow that process, and they're seeing the referrals go through. But getting our employees bought in, I think it's kind of just start. It'd be kind of hard for someone to. I mean, I think it'd be easy for someone to start it. I don't see how it would be like a flaw or a hurdle because all they're doing is changing the way that they present the referrals to the homeowner. We also have like a little flyer as well that we'll always show to the homeowner showing that $25, and then they can also scan to write reviews and whatnot. But yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Very cool. So for someone who's just starting, let's just speak to them for a moment. For how did you get? Do you remember how you got your first roofing job? And what would you say to someone just getting started, how they could get their very first job?
Yeah, that is a great question. It's been 7 years. I've been in it. How I started off was door knocking. So even like when I started my own business and separated from another company to do my own, I was door knocking. So, and I've never had to go back because I've been faithful in those first couple of knocks, taking care of those people that has made them want to refer out. But in someone just starting out, I would say one, go ahead and take care of your family and friends, post about it, let them know that they're doing that you're what you're doing. And I tell all my project consultants that as well. It's like, go ahead and share that news. Like that is good news. Everyone wants to hear that you got a new job. Like, yes, you're technically marketing yourself to everybody now because everyone needs some type of maintenance or repair or replacement to their roof. So therefore, you want to share that good news with others. But in just starting out, focus on those Google reviews, focus on those Better Business reviews as well, and give out cash rewards. Like it's not going to be an easy process. You're going to have to put some skin into it. So you're going to have to like lose a little bit of money in order to gain essentially a better business presentation to others. So
Totally. Yeah, those first couple jobs are the hardest. You just got to get them under your belt and then it starts multiplying. That you start to have that multiplying effect. Very cool.
I would say if someone's starting out is track as much as possible. Have a CRM, have something. So like when a homeowner comes through your system or comes through as a lead, that they're getting an email explaining what services you do. If it's not just roofing, what other services are you doing? Because we make sure that they get an email saying, hey, just want to let you know, thank you for reaching out to us. We're a family owned business. Just want to let you know, our main services are going to be roofing, painting, gutters, and Christmas lights. And so if we don't let them know what we're doing, how are they going to know what they can come to us for? So that
100.
CRM and just in general help out a lot to be able to track.
Yeah, we're making a huge push with AI doing that, which is basically responding to all leads. And there's a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipeline that a lot of home service businesses are going to be able to take advantage of and just really amplify their response time, their quality, and just how they're dealing with leads. I think that's a good first step though for people. Great advice. So I have a little game I want to play. It's very quick, but it's this or that roofing edition. So basically, I'm gonna ask you 2 questions, or I'm gonna say 2 things, and you have to choose between the 2, and it's like speed rounds, okay?
Okay,
All right, you ready? You look
I'm
nervous.
ready. I'm a little nervous. I'm like, wait, I don't.
There's no
Really?
math equations, I promise. It's just basics. All right, you got to pick between the 2, and I'm gonna speed round through. Here we go. SEO organic or paid ads?
SEO or organic, 100%.
Door knocking or digital leads?
Door knocking,
Shingles or metal?
metal.
Metal.
Yeah, I love metal. It lasts
Metal?
forever.
Metal or tile?
Metal.
Free inspections or paid inspections?
It's gotta be free inspections.
Storm restoration or retail?
Retail,
Drone inspections or physical inspections?
both.
You gotta pick one.
Physical inspection,
Residential or commercial?
commercial,
Google or Facebook?
Facebook,
Sales or production?
production.
You did it. You made it through a speed round of roofing, this or that. Love it.
And you had me nervous there. I was like, I'm not sure what type of question is about to get asked.
No, no, you went through it well. I appreciate that. This has been really, really great so far. I mean, just I think there's a lot of golden nuggets from how to get referrals, how to really be education focused with homeowners and have an approach where you can generate a great reputation and build like you have 80% referrals, right? A really nice book of business just for through referrals. And then anything else you do extra is on top of that, right? It's just even better. It's like icing or the cherry on top. I want to leave it with any other like last thoughts or advice you have to someone listening to this who may be building in the building phases of their roofing company.
Yeah, I would say call those homeowners consistently and thank them for their business, even after the job is done. So, like if you did a small repair, call that person, take that time, especially when you're in a smaller phase of the business. And we're trying to get better at this as well. But calling and one thanking that homeowner for using you to do that repair or do that roof replacement, but also ask them how it's holding up. No one ever gets like a feedback, like you get all these like links and feedbacks for your Amazon gift purchases and whatnot, but you don't get a follow-up call on a service that you've been given, whether it's plumbing, electrical, whatever else. You don't ever get that call back saying, hey, just want to check out the work that I did. Is it still holding up? And I think that goes a long way to you caring about the other person that has already paid you physically. And another tip that I have actually found super beneficial is I know we're like 6 months away from it, but sending out a Christmas card, whether it's just yourself or your entire team or whoever else it is, but send a Christmas card out because typically people are getting those. And I know we're way far out, but typically people are getting those from their family and friends, but they're not getting it from the home service company that service their home. And it's super unique. We've had so many people be like, yeah, I never thought that my roofer was going to send me a Christmas card with the entire company on it. Like that was super thoughtful and whatnot. So just being top of mind, sending emails, touching base, and being top of mind for those homeowners, whether they use you for a replacement or repair. If you're not top of mind, somebody else will.
That's a great way to leave off. And I love the reminder, even Christmas, it just shows them it's thoughtful, top of mind approach. And I think that's something everyone can incorporate into their brand. Send those Christmas cards, send those holiday cards, follow up with people, customers, even if it's years later after you did the roof. A lot of people say, oh, well, I already did the roof. I'm not going to follow up. So that touch point, I can't tell you how many CRMs I look at where there's a list of hundreds of roofs that were done and the person just the company never reached out because they already did the roof. Huge missed opportunity for referrals, for repeat business, and so on and so forth. So I appreciate the advice and taking the time to be on the podcast today.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for the opportunity and inviting me on this. So appreciate it big time.
Awesome. All right. I'm excited to see what Firebrand Roofing does this year. Definitely have to keep us updated, and thanks, and catch you later.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
All right.